Hi guys, welcome to the malware metasploit and the hosted network video, right? So the three musketeers together, and this is SWSE Addendum 3. So this video is released as part of the Security Tube Wi-Fi Expert or SWSE online certification. And if you're watching this on Security Tube, as part of our commitment to open InfoSec training, we are going ahead and putting all our core material here on Security Tube, right, free of charge. If you're, however, interested in progressing your career by getting an online certification, we would really encourage you to check out securitytube.net/certifications. Okay, so what is this video about? Well, I've been moving around in HackerCons this year talking about this, and this is how malware can actually go ahead and abuse the hosted network, right? So if you've been following the last two videos, you've probably figured out that a malware can create a hosted network using a key the attacker can derive. And because creating the hosted network does not go ahead and give the user any kind of prompt that the hosted network is now created, basically there is an automatic stealth in the whole process. So now, how do you chunk up a malware which could abuse the hosted network with Metasploit? So here is what we are going to kind of look at this point is basically a quick demo of a malware which first enables the hosted network and then goes ahead and is bundled up with a Meterpreter payload, which is just going to be a bind shell listening for an incoming Meterpreter session request. And what happens is the attacker connects and basically has access to the victim system over the hosted network, right? So now here is the demonstration. Before I begin, this is a pure educational exercise, right? And hence I'm not going to provide any source code currently for that little piece of malcode which enables the hosted network in the background. Frankly, it's not really something which you could even categorize as malware, because all it does is just create the hosted network and basically binds to a port waiting for an incoming Meterpreter session, right? So let's look at a demonstration, and this is where it's going to get really interesting. Is that this is going to be more of a video in a video, right? So I'm outside where I don't have much time at this point because I need to leave for a conference. So this is a quick video demo within the video, right? So here is what is happening. The attacker is going ahead and he's going to go ahead and run the malcode. And before he does that, we'll scan the network. So this is the victim machine here, the Windows 7 one, and the one behind is the attacker machine, as you can probably imagine, right? And what is actually happening is that the attacker is waiting for a Wi-Fi network called Wicked Network to appear over the air, okay? So when this mal payload runs, it is going to create a hosted network called the Wicked Network, and is also going to wait for a Meterpreter session on port 4444, right? Now, let's go ahead and continue playing it. So we'll run the mal payload, and what I really want to show you is, well, there was no visual indication that anything happened, right? I've paused the video, and this is where all the stealth comes in. Now the attacker, who's in the same vicinity, is scanning for Wicked Network. It takes a bit for Wicked Network to actually appear. So we again scan it, and voila, we basically have the Wicked Network. So now we are going to use the WPA supplicant utility to connect to this Wicked Network, right? And you can use the default options which are there. And because the attacker is the one who has installed the malware, he can derive the WPA2 PSK key, and hence he already knows the key to the hosted network, right? This is a very important point, or else he cannot connect. So now the attacker runs WPA supplicant, gives it the configuration file, and now the attacker's machine over Wi-Fi is trying to connect to the victim. Parallelly, we've also set up Metasploit so that we can go ahead and connect to the victim, because the malcode is also created a backdoor which is waiting for us to connect to give us a meterpreter session. And if you look at the background, it's still trying to associate. It says associated key negotiation completed, right? So now we are going to run a DHCP client, and before that, just look at the Windows box. There is nothing which looks wrong here, right? Now this is a bit unstable. This is what I found at times. But let's run the DHCP client on the same interface. The moment the connection succeeds here, you would notice that we get a DHCP address. And this is because this is the way the hosted network works, right? It has to give all the devices behind it an IP address automatically in the personal area network. Connection succeeds. We are still sending DHCP packets. And here it is. We have an IP address. Now, the computer, which is the Windows computer's MAC IP address, is actually that of the gateway, right? Pretty obvious, because that's the gateway machine for us. So that is the IP address. We copy that, go to our little Metasploit terminal, set that as the R host. The malcode running there is already waiting and listening for us. Start the bind handler, and we should have a meterpreter session in a bit. So waiting, fantastic. We have the meterpreter session. Nothing visually changes on the victim. We are still comfortably connected. And now we also have a meterpreter session. Do a PS, you see all of the processes running, right? Get UID, that is the victim. And now just quick demo is we'll just kill command.exe, right? This is like game over, like the final exclamation. Once that is done, we basically, well, we already know we are in full control, but it's always fun to kill something before you exit the video, right? So fantastic. So this is how basically using the hosted network, we go back to the slides. A malware can actually become more powerful, especially over the air with wireless. So is it possible to empower Metasploit with this attack? And here is how. What are the existing problems with Metasploit? So typically, let's say a victim accidentally connects to the fake AP created by Metasploit, and you basically pawn it with a browser auto pawn. But maybe the guy sitting there suddenly sees he's connected to an AP which says my home AP, which is his home access point, and he's at the airport, right? And immediately he figures it out that this is the wrong access point he is connected to, and he disconnects. Now at that point, yes, you may upload a backdoor or anything like that, but you've lost connection to the victim, right? When you're doing your penetration test. What is the solution using the hosted network? Well, the victim accidentally connects, which is step 1. Karma pawns, you get the meterpreter backdoor, get the meterpreter session, immediately start a meterpreter backdoor like an MVC or something like that. And then quickly start the hosted network with a key that you know. Now start that hosted network. Once it is up and running, even if the user disconnects after he sees that he's connected to the wrong access point, the hosted network still continues to run, and you have the key because, well, you're the one who's started it in the first place. So now the attacker can reconnect to the victim over the hosted network and carry on the rest of the penetration test, right? So I think this extension still has to be kind of done to Metasploit. Unfortunately, currently I do not have much time, so hopefully someone from the community is going to do it. I've thrown the idea out there. Let's see who can do it first. And I can tell you it's not much work at all. All you have to do is basically have like a post-exploitation script, and what that is going to do is just start the hosted network, start a backdoor. That's it. I mean, probably half an hour job for someone who's familiar with Metasploit. Anyway, so that brings us to the end of the video. This video is part of the SecurityTube Wi-Fi Security Expert Certification. I would really encourage you to look at what this certification has to offer in /certifications. Couple of the salient features include access to the students portal, where me and a bunch of co-instructors would help you in solving a lot of problems which you may have with various videos and various Wi-Fi challenges and even live penetration testing situations. Then we have webinars for full course coverage and doubt clearing. Of course, including the entire courseware, which is all the PDF slides which I'm currently using, cheat sheets of various commands which you would use on a regular basis, and of course the whole 12+ hours of videos which are also given out free of charge on SecurityTube. And best part is, at a very, very nominal charge for the certification, you get lifetime updates for all of these things, including the course. Which means even if I add a lot of new things a year from now, you still have access to it, right? Finally, the certification exam is an all practical exam where you have to do a live penetration test, between 4 to 6 hours. So it's going to be fantastic. If you have any questions about the certification, please write to me. And that's all, guys, for this video. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Bye-bye.